Hello. Oh boy. This is going to be one of those really complicated videos because we're looking at the TC Electronics? I never know if there's an S or not. TC Electronic, no S. 2290p. P stands for a letter. So, years ago, I reviewed the plug-in version of the 2290, which had a very nice little USB-C, I think, remote to have tactile control, but it was all plug-in, and I loved it. It was so good. And I said, just take exactly this, smack it in a pedal, and see them flying off the shelves. Which, of course, everyone said to them, and they did it. So, a couple of years before that, many couple years, in the 80s, they released a 2-rack unit delay. And it was a digital delay that could be controlled with your playing dynamics. So it was a dynamic delay, meaning you played and then the delay was ducked. So it was pushed down by the playing with compression or something. And that meant that as you were playing, the delay wasn't trashing your signal. And then as you backed off, the delays beautifully filled the room. It defined an era of players. Most certainly Lukather, as far as I know, definitely Petrucci, who I think probably had 2 or more, and most certainly The Edge from that band from Ireland, because those delay sounds, especially the dotted eighth, was his sound. And they haven't really touched that idea until they had the plug-in version and now the pedal version. They re-engineered this from an old one and tried to be as precise as possible. The thing that you have to realize is this is so much more than just the digital delay. It is, of course, a great delay, but the other effects you can have with the dynamic control idea and moving very short delays around in time with modulation means you can get chorusy, flangy effects. You can get tremolo effects by controlling more than just up and down volume and moving delay time around for flangy stuff, but also using panning. I had one in the studio years ago, and the front panel control with its touchy buttons was actually not working correctly, so I could never really program it. My guitar teacher, Kuno Wagner, back then had one and let me borrow it. Loaning is if you give something to someone, borrowing it if you take something from someone. Most people get that wrong. A little bit of a English lesson here for you people. So, yeah, I could never really play with it and gave it back. Why do I think of gave it back him? Gave it back him. It's not his name. Sucker dude. I don't know. My head is weird. So here it is. Sorry. That's the 2290p. We can skip a lot of this stuff on it for now by putting this clicky inny with magnety thingy in it. See, it's got little magnets, 6 of them, that sit on these hex screws. That way you're not touching the controls live. They cut this out here, but you can't really do anything with the rotary control unless you select a parameter. So I don't know why they cut it out. Or maybe so it fits. And then, of course, for live, that no crumbs and beer get into it. What I did say to them when they were here a year ago, actually over a year ago at Gear Street, and they showed us this behind closed doors, it's like, this is the first thing that people will lose. Why don't you make it like a hinge and it folds up and then it folds down again? And why don't you make this attachable and then detachable, but on a hinge? They didn't. But I also told them, why don't you do this? So Leslie, if you can go to the pedal side cam, you can go and take this, and since the holes are all the same, you could just move that up here, and it clicks in right there, and then stays in place, and you don't lose it. They didn't think of this. Apparently, that's my trademark use of this delay. So you can do that, click it back in, move it up here, and that way you don't put it to the side and forget where your lid is. For now, we're going to keep it closed. We're going to look at the back. We already are. Dual inputs, dual outputs. If you're running it in mono, you can flip this switch, and that makes these two right here into an effects loop to loop in other pedals if you wanted that. And that will only be for your delay lines. So if you want to fuzz your delays, you can do that. We're not going to go that far in this video, but just know you can by flicking the flippy switch. Expression pedal, we're also not going to cover. How do you assign it? You need to install the app, connects with USB-C right here. That's beautiful. And then in the app, you can assign 3 different parameters from this to the expression pedal to morph between those parameters up or down. Very cool. USB-C, 9 volt, and MIDI in and through in full size. How do you assign MIDI channel and all that stuff? Also in the app, not on the actual pedal. The interface isn't meant to do that, so you have to hook up the app. And so that's what the app does. Expression pedal control, pretty much hidden in the app. MIDI assignment in settings, and it shows you the preset names, and you can rename presets and stuff like this, which of course don't show up here with the names. My setup today is an line from UA because I can run full stereo with this, and it sounds absolutely beautiful. We're not going to run it with anything else because it's just going to blow the scope of this video to pieces. If you want to hear this with tube amps, check out my Rev D40 video, my Blackstar HT Stage 100 video, and one that's coming out next week, which I can talk about. Really cool amp where I have this on tube amps and it sounds phenomenal. So the first thing that we're going to do to get you an idea of what the possibilities are is go through presets. They actually filled it with 64 times A and B, so 128 presets to give you the full idea. And there is a list of those presets and who made them, which I have. There are presets from TC Electronics, from the VST version, from Bob Greaves. I'm going to go some engineer loads of them. Philippe Martin, the 2290 VST version, George Bissell, Benoit Fope, Stephen Carpenter, some guitar player, Kirk Fletcher, Josh Smith, he's a blues dude, Pete Thorne, don't know who that is, Hugh Madsen, original 2290s, Alex Skolnick, Doug Aldrich, Fleming Rasmussen, Jason LaRocca, John Burton, Ronnie Vindal, Kenny Moran, and 3 from Misha Mansour. So you can see there are banks, Sorry that we've got some glare here. And then per bank, you've got an A and a B. One thing I'm going to bitch about is you want to go up a bank. You would push these two and down a bank, these two. Okay, so I'm going to push up. Do you see what happens? It doesn't actually go up. Why doesn't it go up when you push up? Or down when you push down? I mean, maybe now it's waiting for A and B. Let's do this again. No. So the thing is, you should push up. And then when you hit A or B, it should go to A or B on that second bank. But it doesn't. Maybe I don't understand it, but it's weird. So you have to push up. Now you push up again. And now it's actually on bank 2. Let's see what happens if I wait. No, it goes back to 1. So why do I have to push up and then up again? Why push down it twice? For me, that feels like a mistake. I would have to push and then A or B to pick bank 2, not remaining on bank 1. So I have to go push again, and now I can go to bank 2. TC, I think you made a mistake there. This thing, to be honest, and I'm gonna tell you right away, there are amazing sounds. This is a thing you should get. It's very, very good. But even though they're paying me for this video, and not to say that it's very good, but for my review, I'm going to review it, which means I'm going to bitch about a whole bunch of things that feel like they released this in a beta state and not in its final version. Meaning very, very soon, there'll be firmware updates that fix all the stuff because people like me bitch about it. Some things I know they already know about, they just haven't been addressed in a firmware update. So for example, I want to go to bank 3 now. Click. Nope. Can't do it. Why is it waiting for me to give input for A or B? Because I can do this without pushing up. So I push again, and now I can pick. It makes no sense to push twice. That's what I think, unless they tell me otherwise. So we're going to go and have some clean sounds. I'm using this Ruf Schrödinger Master Series. It is a guitar fully made from carbon in one piece. You can see the carbon here. I will actually, once I release the video for this, very soon, have a 10% off coupon code for you guys. And these things ship from Poland, and they actually get this, do not clock in at a super high rate. So 10% off is steal. This thing is $2,000 with a Hiscox case, and it is a phenomenal modern guitar with amazing playability, locking tuners, Seymour Duncans, all that stuff. And 10% off is money. So $2,000, 10% off plus VAT. Pretty great. So here we go. Moody Good Start. I mean, of course, without. Here we go. I can, of course, tap it. That setting right there, maybe with a bit more depth, or mix actually. That right there, you don't need more. Buy it for that, because check out this lead. I could play that all freaking day long. We're already going to flangy territory. Chorus, it says. This is called shredded cheese. So that's the dynamic delay. So I'm playing and it's ducked, but as soon as I start to not play, the delay comes up and fills. I'm in love with these sounds, honestly. So we got number 4, Roads. I don't know. If I could play it, would sound so good. I have to stop because it is so inspiring. It is so much fun. We're at a warm mod delay expression. I don't have an expression. This could be fun. With some compression in front of that, that would be cool. 80s guitar. Yeah, great. We're only on bank 4, dynamic flangy pan. And again, fun. What do we have here? I mean, we can do this all day long. It says springy, supposed to be spring reverby. Why do I have to push twice? Expressive trem. songs. I'm only on 7, it's ridiculous. I mean, come on, this is a 7A, so that means pipey flange. I think you get an idea of the possibilities. We're going to do 2 more. So that is one thing I can't figure out how to do. And I think maybe that is envelope and then the threshold. I'm trying to figure out a couple of things and I can't. But we're going to get to that. So you're playing, and once you stop playing dynamically, it comes up like a swell. Not like as a. So that's reversing it. As soon as I stop playing, it's gone, and not as soon as I stop playing, it comes up. So it's gating it, literally. And one more. This says old tape, no, the compy. And many more presets. All good. The flangey ones, the chorusy ones, the dynamic. It's not a single preset in here that just isn't inspiring to play. If you want to get this and never program it, that's fine. Organize the presets, change the tempos, change the mix and the feedback, and you're good. Change the tempo by hitting, the tap, or go here and change the delay time. Thank you, Leslie. Change the mix right there. What did I do? What is one new? When you double click this. Oh, I read about that, but now I don't remember anymore. And that's panning. Okay, God, we're gonna have to go through so much stuff. It is scarily complex if you want to master this, which I haven't. And let's get into something TC isn't going to like, me bitching about how to master it. Technically, you can't if you don't know what you're doing yourself, because they don't provide a manual. This thing needs a manual. Kant. Immanuel Kant, philosopher. So this thing is pretty damn deep and complex, can do many things, and it sounds phenomenal. All I can find about the 2290p from TC Electronic is a quick start manual, which gives you 1 page of what each of the knobs do, no how-tos, doesn't go into what trigger or envelope really does, and there are many little hidden things that you don't really get told about. For example, dynamic. See how it changes from volume to feedback? It's not mentioned anywhere. I had to have a meeting with one of their guys who told me that. And then we still couldn't really figure out what it does. To be honest, it's the one thing that gets recommended officially is download the old manual from '85, because the manual for the original box was better. TC. write fucking manual that explains how to do tremolo, flanger, what it actually is, what's an envelope, what does LFO do, all of this stuff. Just giving me a one-page manual. I'm going to put this right here. That's it. Is in no way enough to learn this. There are so many functions that are not at all explained. It doesn't explain at all how to do the expression pedal. It doesn't explain anything about how to set up MIDI. There's massive holes in the documentation, meaning a giant hole. There is no documentation. There's a one-page manual. Let me see if I even see the thing on the mix. Okay, press delay twice, and then it's inverted. So the delay is inverted to, let's see if we can hear that. The delay will be inverted to the original signal, therefore probably causing some phase cancellation. Let's get the volume up here. Inversion 0. I'm going to say in stereo hard to hear because the phase cancellation is moving around. But well, now you know you can do this. I'm going to keep this open as a reference, but let's go through it from the beginning, okay? Turn this off here if you like the sounds and you're too afraid to program because you don't need to know anything. You need to know how to do tempo, mix, and feedback. Leave the rest and pick presets you like. And it's still a great box. If you want to know more, watch the rest and good luck to you because TC isn't helping. Okay, I don't understand why. Actually, I do understand why, but I'm not going to go into it. It's a dumb reason. I'm sorry, I'm mesmerized. So we have this encoder on the right, which is very important. And you can select preset and then just go to the preset you want and press it again. And then there's a store button. Gets you milk and cookies from the store. People write under these videos, "You're not funny." I don't see it. I do. Leslie, can you imagine that people write under these videos, "You're not funny"?
No, I don't understand at all.
No, yeah, exactly. Because you think I'm funny, right, babe?
Yeah, that's why I gave you that cup.
Oh, right. Oh, my God. I forgot that I'm... Yeah. Oh, wow. Let's get one. Wait, It's faded now, but it says, "Henning, how about a nice cup of shut the fuck up?" She gave this to me probably, I think, the second week that we were dating. She had me figured out really early on. Okay, that's the store section. Now, output section, also fairly simple. There's a delay button and a direct button, and that's what you do. Click the delay and change the mix. Typically, you want fairly high output. This would be equal to input. I can take the direct down to So you don't have one mix value, you have two. Change the volumes of direct and delay. When you hit them both, well, we already know hit delay twice and you can invert the delay signal to the direct signal, but hit both of them and you've got a pan. So that sets kind of a basic panning for dry. I don't understand what this shows, because there's one of them is moving, but the other one isn't. Is this only panning the delay signal? It sounds like it is. I'm a little bit confused because I'm thinking you could set up a wet-dry situation here. One on the one side, one on the other, maybe. Again, press delay in direct to adjust the amount of fixed panning between left and right. The amount of panning can be controlled for both the direct and the delayed signal. In order to activate panning, see the pan DIY. But I can only... Okay, I mean, I cannot seem to move the lower little blip. How to do it? Would be nice to know. Manual? Clearly doesn't tell me. This is so frustrating because it's such a good box, and paying someone for a day and a half to write a manual apparently seems to be too much. I'm sorry, I'm really jumping on this hard because it's a failure. It's a massive failure with such an amazing product. And look, you could say, you're an idiot, you don't know what you're doing. Could be, I'm going to say this without trying to brag. I have a summa cum laude from Berklee College of Music in a double major. One of these majors is music synthesis, or nowadays electronic production and design, meaning sound design. I know how to operate technology. I literally have honors in operating technology. I can't figure it out because a manual is necessary. So, next section is the feedback section. Fairly simple. You hit feedback and you crank it up or down. You can invert the feedback which inverts the phase of the feedback signal. Not that I could hear that. Then there is a high and a low parameter, which is a high frequency roll-off, which right now sits at 2.5, I think, hertz. It goes from, let me read that to you, 1K to 20K for the high. So now there's no high frequency roll-off. And now it rolls off at 1K. Beautifully shape your delay line. But you have to hit feedback, and I don't know what that line is supposed to signify. I have no idea why that's all of a sudden moving faster. And the same thing for low. Now it rolls off at 800 hertz. So really only the top stuff. Kind of like a tape delay. rolling off it, the low stuff. And now it's off and with all the low stuff in there. So you can see why that's a good idea. You shape your low and high content of your feedback signal, and then you say how much feedback. Relatively straightforward section to understand, except for the inverse, which you can do many inverse things here. Maybe in the end, that's invert that one, therefore it's positive. Maybe stay away from. I couldn't hear really a big difference there, but it of course depends on the other settings. Wir gehen jetzt mal hier in die andere Sektion hier rein, as we say in Hessian. We're going to go into the delay section. Also a little bit straightforward to understand technically. So this is delay time. Hit the delay button and it shows you in milliseconds what your delay time is with a maximum of, oh my God, why do you have to dial like this? Well, you don't, you have to hold in delay and what the, oh, really? Is that 10 seconds? I don't think the original had 10 seconds. Wow. Okay, that's crazy. That's technically a looper. Of course, not a looper because it'll always delay what you're playing. But yeah, that's crazy. But you could also hold it with one hand. So that's about a second right there. Very nice. Modulation is on. Now modulation is deep, also not mentioned in the manual, even the quick start anywhere. That's something you have to find out for yourself. So modulation off, on, deep, and off. Modulation inverse can be interesting. We're going to get to that. And here we got subdivisions. Okay. So subdivisions off. And sadly, even if we're, let's say, on quarter notes, now you're tapping, and the tapping actually shows you beats per minute. Can you get the beats per minute back when you hit delay and actually set it up perfectly? Not that I know of. It would be nice to have this display and just change it to beats per minute and not milliseconds. I would say maybe there's a mode to change that. That would have to be explained in the manual, which doesn't exist! So, it's ridiculous. You can go whole measure, half a measure, quarter, eighth, 16th, and 32, 64. So let's say we're doing eighth notes and you want dotted. Then you hit subdivisions. There's a dot. And you hit it again for triplets. So let's try this. Here we are on dotted eighth, right? And this is, you can see the light there blinking. 1, 2, 3, 4. What are you hearing? I'm sorry. I know they're paying me. I know that the head company has a problem with paying for reviews because they're saying then those reviews are tainted. Not here, because I'm gonna bitch the living fuck out of this. What's going on here? Those are clearly triplets, right? But didn't I set up dotted? Oh look, there's a dot. Let's go to triplets. Interesting. TC Electronic released a delay, which is brilliant. Let's get that out of the way. Where dotted and triplet has been reversed, meaning before release, they could have taken these 2 bits of code and move them around and then just issue a statement. Oh, by the way, when you get yours, please install the new firmware where we fixed a stupid mistake that we made, and just own up to it and you're good. Nobody would have had a problem with that. Shit happens. It's over a month now after the release of this, and no firmware has been updated. No firmware update has been issued. This is a blatant mistake that anyone in their, grandma can figure out that there's a mistake, and yet it has to be fixed. I don't understand these things from such a renowned company. Also, again, there it's giving me beats per minute. Beautiful. But I cannot actually set up beats per minute unless... tap it with your foot and then very quickly bend down really quickly and set up perfect beats per minute. There you go. Why can't I don't know. Double click delay. And please, for once, listen to me. You have double clicks, right? Double click here. Changes to inverse. You have double click functions. Let me double click the delay. Hold it in. Nope. Just double click and switch to BPM. I love this. I want to love this to bits. Please double click BPM. Because right now the only way I can set up BPM is if I'm standing up, I'm tapping, then I'm bending down and as fast as I can reach for the... Okay, let's see. 1, 2, 3. I have about 3 seconds to bend down and change the BPM. So I want to exactly have 120. You can do it, but why can't I just change it by double clicking beats per minute? The delay. Okay, it doesn't... And obviously, T stands for dotted, while dot stands for triplets. I know they're now hating me there, but what can I do? This is a review, not a demo. But apparently, YouTubers can't be paid for what they do because the money will change the outcome of the review and it's going to be tainted and we're going to, just gash over it and say it's all good, is the idea of the parent company. Well, you're wrong, parent company. I think I bitched about it. But I also love it. Damn, it sounds good. Okay, that's what you do. We're gonna turn modulation on. Oh, that's nice. Let's reverse that. A little bit of a difference, but on other settings, more of a difference. So, now we get complicated. We're going to go to the modulation section, which is here. That's where you set up the waves, the speed, and the depth. But what does it modulate is the big question. And the answer is you set that up here. And when it comes to not the pitch modulation, that you enable right here. Okay. Or we could also check out the deep. It's just a more severe depth. So that you set up right there, but your panning modulation and your dynamic modulation, you set up in this pan dynamic section. Pan dimensional? What? On the left, pan. On the right, dynamics. So focus on the left side for now. Right now, no pan or dynamic modulation is happening. Now, pan modulation is on. Where is it on? Only for the delay? For delay and direct? Or for direct only? Now it's for both. So let's figure this out. Then how much is it? Here you can possibly see. Let's see, make it bigger for a second. You got the technology there. Delay, pan, and dynamics. So you click this. Now you set up the modulation for delay. Now for panning. Now for dynamics. So if I want to actually set up my pan modulation, I go here. There is sine, random, envelope, and trigger. Don't really ask me what envelope and trigger actually does. No manual. My ears can't really wrap their ears around it. We'll try, but I cannot really adequately demonstrate that because I don't really know what I'm doing there. Officially, meetings with TC haven't really helped. And there's no manual. So we're on pan, sine, which makes the most sense. Here's the speed. From 10 to I'm going to say they're hertz. Or something. Then depth. Let's get it quite deep so we have lots of panning. Now, we'll only have it for the delay signal. Slowly moving around, so that means I want to increase the speed. Helps if you're listening with headphones or with the stereo setup, not on your frickin' phone, while you're on the crapper. More depth. That is so cool. Change the wave to random. Okay, now we're going to add now we're only going to do it to the dry signal. This isn't. That's only for the dynamics. Can I reverse how they're going? Invert here? Maybe not. No. So, that's how you do panning and how you assign it either to the delay or the direct. And you turn it off, and there's no panning in any direction. Now delay is only on the right side. Why is that? Well, because here... Oh, look at that. What the... Now both of them move. Why is that? That makes no sense to me. Ah, wait. Why do now both of them move? I mean, there's clearly a reason. Now you can do wet dry. See that? Or the opposite. That would be mono-ish, and now it's moving again. So here, now we get into the waveform is now envelope controlling the panning, which means technically, dynamically, if I play harder or softer, there should be more or less panning? Maybe? If I'm playing, so therefore there's input, it's not really panning, and once I stop playing, there's more panning, I think. So then you push the speed and depth, which gets you the threshold, which now is 30. It says threshold, so I have no idea what that means. Let's go to 1. Interesting, because now my direct signal is all the way to the left. I literally have no idea what dynamically meaning envelope applying panning means. I can't figure it out. And a whole page in a manual would be a good idea with examples of how to do it. And some pictures. Now then there's trigger. The envelope is supposed to do a little bit dynamic reacting to your playing, whereas the trigger is pretty much at a certain stage, it does it, period. There's no, but I also don't really hear the envelope doing that. So, I have no idea. I can't tell you. I'm going to say go to sine and you're good. Same thing. We're going to skip the dynamic modulation for now. And actually turn the pan off. We're going to go to modulating the delay time. We're actually going to go crank up, get more frequencies in there. So we hear more modulation. So that's our modulations on. Let's turn that off. No, that's deep. If you know what to grab, you can see you can really just move around really fast without a menu, which is great. So, modulation on. Flat 9 party! That is sine. Going to increase the speed of the modulation. Give it all the way depth. So if the standard depth isn't enough, you can go and boost the depth. But if I was at 99, that's probably 200 or something. Maybe it's doubling, who knows. So if you're doing the deep, just back off on your regular depth control. You have a lot of control there. Beautiful. And also, you can actually, by holding speed, hold speed and hit subdivision, you can actually change the subdivisions for your modulation. See, my delay is still on eighth, but the subdivisions for the modulation are on half notes. Good to know. So we're inverted right now, so the modulation is inverted. Now it's not. Makes more sense if we have the original signal in there and other kind of. Let's go much shorter. Sometimes because the knobs are relatively small, you click one and then you accidentally click the other one. Always check your parameters. I'm trying to create like a flanger thing. I can't. What am I doing wrong? 25 milliseconds. Maybe I was still too fast. Possibly. Ah, I was still too fast. We're talking 3 milliseconds now, and then modulate the crap out of it. And mix is equal, because the delay needs to move around my actual note and phase it. Inverted. Some panning. Let's see if we can replicate that ourselves. Equal volume between delay and your normal signal. These are things that a manual should teach you how to do a flanger. Not too much depth there. Interesting. I was on the wrong parameter again. Great! Now I know! Last thing, and then we're done, is how to do the dynamic modulation. So we're going to turn the delay modulation off. We're going to turn the pan modulation off, not to be confusing. We're going to go to dynamic, going to go to sine. Turn that on. I had this figured out. Why is my original signal gone if my dynamic setting is on modulation? I mean, it's beautiful. It's a great tremolo. Ah, because depth. Okay. So right now it's doing dynamics with the sine wave, not ducking. Okay? So you can do a tremolo. That's what you need to do. If you get the depth all the way up, you've got a stutter type tremolo in a sine wave. And I let go, and then the delay continues. If you're reversing it, the delay actually stays in there, filling the gaps, like so. Get the depth down, have a more moderate effect. Okay. Do this on, well, we were on random. Damn it, sine. Now we're going to envelope. So you can hear I'm playing, and then I stop playing and the delay goes away. So you're not drowning your signal in loads of delays. They're only thickening while you're playing, which is great for leads if you don't want, or actually great for chords. And then gone. Perfect. If you want the opposite, you want to play, duck the delay down, and then it coming up when you don't play, you have just the mod on dynamic without the inverse. And you can hear no delay while I'm playing. Got a little bit crazy here. Okay, there's a threshold. Don't know how that works, honestly. Looks like that's how much it's ducking. The lower the number, the more it's ducking. Ah, there's the secret parameter. So you're hitting this twice. As soon as it's doing its thing, it will set the delay to that volume and that feedback. So let's say my feedback is 47 and volume is 47. Now, once it's unducking, bringing the delay up, volume will be, let's see, 70. Feedback will be quite a bit. Or not. Honestly, I don't know how to set it up. I'm trying. I'm really trying. And I'm not a complete dumbass. I don't know. Because you're not setting up threshold anymore? I don't know how to do it. I don't know what that means. Same for trigger. I've had about enough of this. You can set up volume and feedback once it triggers. But I need an explanation. I need an explanation of what certain parameters will result in. This is, of course, doable, but not without a manual. I'm sorry, without a manual, this is good for presets and then some, obviously. But if you really want to dive deep, I have a fucking degree in sound design, and I don't know what I'm doing. Some people that worked with the original would, of course, laugh at me and think, no, you don't know what you're doing, you're an idiot. That's fine, then please school me in the comments. Last thing. Oh. I'm gonna give up on this. Modulation when you go to delay. And sine and random make sense. Right? No, now I'm on pan. God damn it. These knobs are not for fat finger people. And the app, by the way, does not allow you to edit. It shows you the settings, but you cannot edit this with the app. Why not? You can MIDI control all the different parameters, but they didn't spend the time to develop an app where you can fiddle on the computer, which again, for the fat finger people, might be a good idea. Because I, right here, frequently switch things I don't want to switch. So we're going to go to delay. Random sign makes sense. Now we're going to get to envelope. Now it gets really interesting. So when I stop playing, the envelope kicks in, something about a threshold, because you can click here and you can see a threshold. And then it jumps to some other parameter, drastically changing delay time, therefore giving me pitch. I'm thinking the envelope should be I'm playing. Okay, did you hear? As the signal was dropping below the threshold, it changed delay time again. I think what it should be doing as my signal goes down in volume, it ramps up depth. So the louder you play, the less modulation is there. The quieter the signal gets, the more modulation comes in. But the speed is predetermined and the depth doesn't go to, the parameter doesn't go to delay time, but depth. Therefore, you could do a beautiful chord, and as it rings out, modulation comes up, kind of like an opera singer or any singer will do a vibrato. Wouldn't that be neat on your leads? Right now it's doing how much it goes is determined by the depth value. Doesn't make a lot of sense. Of course, I mean, it does, but so when does it do that? Let's find out. No, it didn't do it. It also feels it's not an envelope. It feels it's a trigger. It's not slowly ramping it up. It falls below the threshold and then immediately ramps it up. So that envelope and trigger are interchangeable here. And envelope isn't really doing dynamically. It's a threshold. And once you hit that threshold, it's immediately there. It doesn't dynamically ramp up the parameters. This is all way too in-depth, but I gotta bitch about this stuff because it could be so cool. But I also think it shouldn't do delay time modulation. It should be doing depth modulation in this case, because that way you have your beautiful chord, and then as the chord rings out, modulation comes in. Let's switch to trigger. Now it's going down. You can, of course, invert that. There, it's trigger and envelope kind of have the same function as far as I'm concerned. But I just think it should be modulating this, the depth. The depth in this case is the pitch. Okay. I don't understand that. Nobody explains it to me. Maybe you can understand that. I feel they should change it that envelope and trigger, first of all, do different things. And secondly, they're modulating the depth of how much it gets modulated. So you've got a clean, non-modulated signal, and it slowly brings in the modulation, not go That's musically not usable. Whether or not the original did that, I don't give a rat's ass. Make it usable. And that would be a great thing. Also, give me envelope that actually really dynamically responds to my playing instead of just switching to on and off. I think that would make sense. So as my signal degrades, the other parameter ramps up. Trigger would be my signal degrades under the threshold and then jumps up to a value. Envelope should be it's degrading, and as it degrades, it morphs the other parameter. That's what I'm thinking. Then again, what do I know? So let's sum up the bitching. That is weird, what I just said. It is a little bit difficult to set up the dynamic stuff because of the envelope and trigger behavior. What's with the dotted and the triplets? Where's the manual? There are things like the volume and the feedback, which can be dynamically modulated, but nobody talks about it. It's not mentioned anywhere. There are a whole bunch of things that are not mentioned anywhere. You can, of course, tap it, and you will see that beats per minute show up. If within 3 seconds you manipulate it with the encoder, you set up beats per minute. But why isn't there a double click on delay to go between beats per minute and milliseconds? And I've said it many times, where's the manual? This without a manual, this with a manual for the knowledgeable sound designer and delay setupper and programmer is still damn complicated. This without a manual is almost pretty damn useless to really program except for the most basic functions. I can wrap my head around routing and that stuff, but I'm lost when it comes to certain things. But bottom line, and Leslie, you can make it big, the tones are insanely good. The presets are insanely good. It is a great pedal. I love it behind the line. The leads I'm getting are fantastic. The cleans I'm getting are fantastic. You just heard the line into this, and all these sounds could be recorded and just be stereo beautiful. It is just a great piece of gear for under $400, $359 or something like this. It clearly has its flaws that are telling me that they released it in a beta state without having been thoroughly tested. You want to go to bank 2? Okay, you go up. Nope, you're not in bank 2. It's now waiting for me to confirm A or B. Let's do this again. A or B. Yeah, but A or B, where? On bank 1? No! It needs to go to bank 2 immediately and then confirm A or B, but I have to push twice. And I'm waiting for a response from TC in the comments below. Why is it doing that? I'm thinking the only reason could be, oh, we messed up. And you know what? If you did TC, who gives a rat's ass? You made a brilliant box. Just fix it. Okay? It's great. And can you believe they're paying me money for this? Yes, because it is possible to do honest reviews and bitch about stuff and still get paid, because I'm not getting paid for my opinion. I'm getting paid to find all this stuff and point it out to the manufacturer. And to spend the time shooting this with 2 people, 9 cameras and dogs and cats and whatever. This cat, these shirts cost money, not me. By the way, everyone's asking me if you want a shirt like this, link below and a coupon code for, I think 20% off or something. Check it out. I'm not making money on that. I'm just saying it because everyone's asking me where can I get the shirt. In the links below, mrgoogle.com. So, I love it. This is one that stays for sure, but it's fully usable the way it is. If you know that dotted is triplet and triplet is dotted and you want to, fiddle with it, but not really have a manual. But it needs a firmware update and it needs a manual very badly. Okay. I'm not the guy to write it because I don't understand certain parts of it. Someone else needs to. Maybe someone who really knew the original in and out and can share their tips and tricks on how to get these really, really cool sounds. For example, you want to do a flanger, go down to 3 milliseconds. That's a good tip. Why do I have to figure that out myself? And many, many more. So this is the TC 2290p. I'm saying get one if you're into the Petrutskis, the edges, and all that stuff. It's absolutely fantastic. I didn't even play dotted eighth trick riffs. Other people did. this is already a video that's way too long. Sorry for that. You could have turned it off after the presets. I hope you did. Thank you, TC, for trusting in my reviews. Reviews, not demos. I think you got that. I love all of you guys. Michael, Lars, Toby, the whole team, the great people. Please don't get what I said and mistake it. I want this to be the product that it can be. And a couple little updates and you're there. You can already buy this because it's already brilliant. So with those updates, it's brilliant plus. That's all I'm saying. I'm nitpicking. Thanks for watching. Links below, please use them. Follow me on all the things, Instas and stuff that really helps with the numbers, because numbers matter. And animals at the end.